Okay, so guys, in the second video, really quickly, I'm just going to show you how your calculators can approximate some of these roots. So you absolutely need a calculator for this. This is nothing that you could do in your head, even if you wanted to. So we've got this thing about satellites, and it's got a function that we're going to be working with, which is this function right here. So they tell you that D is the diameter of the hole created in a solar cell, and then K is the energy that the dust particle is traveling with. So K and D are two things that we're going to be working with. So for part A, they say estimate the diameter of a hole. So we, according to this, we are trying to find D. And then created by a particle traveling with 3.5 joules, so that is K. So they give us a value for K, we're trying to solve for D. So D equals, we've got 0.926 times the cube root of 3.5 plus 0.169. So I'm writing this all down. I'm going to let my calculator do all the hard work here. Okay, so let me show you. If you do just a calculator page, oops, the glare, there we go. If we do just a calculator page like this, if you type in 0.926, so that's the beginning, and then times, now here's where your square root and everything, these buttons are right here. I'll hold it right up to the screen. So can you see next to the 4, there's the square root in blue, and then n root x means you can type in cube root, fourth root, whatever you want. So for the cube root, I'm going to hit control first and then this button, the little arrow, and then I can type in 3 because I want to take the cube root, and then arrow on over into that box, I type in the 3.5. Once I'm out of that cube root, then I can type this, the plus 0.169. Okay, so I type that in, hit enter, and that is my approximate value. All right, so might as well just write down all of those decimal places. 1.5, let's go 575. We'll go 3 decimal places. And it says diameter in millimeters, so that would be 1.575 millimeters. All right, let's look at the second one. It says if a hole has diameter 2.5 millimeters, so that's a value for D, estimate the energy with which the particle that made the hole was traveling. So that's asking for K. They give us D this time and they want us to solve for K. So we're still going to use this formula. We're going to plug 2.5 in for D. Now it's K that we don't know. Okay, so we're going to try to get K by itself, so whatever we need to do, so start by subtraction. So I'm going to subtract this decimal value from both sides. Okay, so it cancels over here, and I'm just going to use my calculator for this. So 2.5 minus 0.169, and I can just type that in. I get 2.331. Make sure you keep all your decimals while we're in the intermediate phases of the problem. Okay, so we do that. Next thing we need to do to get K by itself is divide by this decimal right here, 0.926. Okay, so this cancels over here. I need to plug this into my calculator. So I can just hit divide, because remember, it remembers the 2.331. So I'm just dividing by 0.926, and I get 2.51728. Same thing, keep all those decimals. Cube root of K. So now we need to get this K out from the cube root. So what we do to cancel out the cube root is we cube both sides, because those are inverses of each other. So when I cube this, the cube root and the cube cancel each other out, just like a square root and a square would cancel each other out. So I need to cube this side as well. Okay, so last thing in my calculator, I'm going to do answer. So hit control and then the little negative sign and hit answer. And then next to the 4, if you hit this little caret key, gives you a little exponent, and I can type in the third power, and I get this, about 15.951. And remember, that would be in joules. Okay, so really those buttons on the left-hand side next to the 4 are the important buttons here.